You're tuned in to Ask the Master Auto Technician. Car questions? Get answers right now. Call 850-763-0555.
James Auto Center, we fix it right, guaranteed. Beep, 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 yeah.
All right. Thanks for tuning back in to our Tuesday morning show. I had Larry Walters on here, and we were talking about the fairtax.org. And I was talking, before Larry got on here, I was talking about tire pressure monitoring system. That's that little light you see on it. Looks like a tire cut in half if your tires are low. If you got one tire low or two, whatever, a little light will come on. And that little light represents, hey, you got a low tire, and it's about 10 to 20% lower than it should be. So you need to check your tires. That's a safety. That's a safety, and that came about in 2008. All cars from 2008 to now must have a tire pressure monitoring system.
I will say it's a very handy system, but it also can be quite an irritant.
Irritant, that's a very good word, especially if you own a Toyota. The reason I say that is because Toyotas, when people first got these cars in 2008, 2009, Toyotas had a full-size spare in the back. And no one thought anything about it. Everybody's used to having a full-size spare, not a little donut spare. Anyway, the light would come on, the people would check their tires, all four of them, and they'd be fine. But the light would still stay on. And they'd go to a shop, and they'd say, we can't figure out what was wrong with it. People didn't realize that Toyota put a sensor in the spare tire. And when that spare tire got low, that light would make the light come on the dash. And so on Toyotas, a little hint out there, please check your spare tire if it's a full-size spare tire and have them ping them with a tire pressure monitoring tool or a reset tool. But what I was saying earlier in the beginning of the show, in the first part, is when you go to a shop, if you don't have a tire pressure monitoring light on, you need to say, okay, I want you to show my dash, there's no lights on, make sure my car comes with no lights on. I have seen a lot of people over the years go to tire stores, get their tires changed, and the light will be on when they leave, and the guys say, just don't worry about it, they all do that. Well, what happened is more than likely it got broken when they were changing tires.
Now, I've had somebody tell me, just drive for 20 feet or so and the light will go out.
Yes.
Well, unfortunately, that was not the case. I, in fact, had a flat tire.
You did. As a matter of fact, it happened to you, did it not?
It did happen to me.
We had brand new tires put on. Not going to mention the name of the place. We do, not Hanson. It wasn't there. And they put tires on it. These are special tires. This is years ago. And the light was on. And she said, hey, my light's on. Oh, don't worry about it. Just drive it. Well, she drove it. She drove the tire flat. And there was no air in it. She turned around and came right back. And they said, whoops, we made a mistake. Well, do not pick your car up and take it home if you put tires on and that light is on. I don't care who did it. Say, wait a minute. I'm not going to drive my car home. I came in here with no light on my dash. I'm not about to leave with a light on my dash, especially since you're responsible for making sure that light's not on. If I came in here with the light off, I'm supposed to leave with the light off. That's right. You can't get it legally. A tire store is responsible. That's why before a car comes in and we're doing tires, we ping each tire. We go to them and we hit the little button. We go, okay, how much air is in the tire? And it'll tell us exactly 28 pounds, 18 pounds, 35 pounds, 40 pounds, whatever it is. It'll tell us that number, and we can see the serial number of the sensor on there. And on some of the newer models, it tells you how much life is left in the battery. If I want to spend an extra $2,000 more, I can get that apparently. Well, I'm going to get this one updated, and maybe it will do it without having to pay another $2,000. Still, they got a lot of information out there that's coming on the tire pressure monitoring systems. So what I'm trying to tell you out there, if you really want to save time and you really want to save money, when you go to get your tires, look at if you have a 2008 or newer vehicle, make sure you don't have a TPMS light on. Now, too many times I've seen over the past where people will come in with the TPMS light on, and the shop won't ping them. Why they won't ping them, I have no idea. Because they should ping them to say, okay, the light is on because A, you're low on air, or B, your sensor's bad. If the light's on when you come in and they don't ping them and they don't tell you, hey, guess what? Right now you've got 3 out of 4 sensors bad. Recommend changing all 4 of your sensors. Well, what they're doing to you, they're actually costing you more money down the road and making your car less safe for you, because now's the perfect time when you got the tire apart to put the tire pressure monitoring sensors in. I mean, you got it apart. That's the time to do it. You don't put it back together and then tear it apart 6 months later and put a tire sensor in it. You don't do that, pressure sensor. You just go ahead while the tire is off the rim, put a new tire pressure monitoring system in and do what you're supposed to. And a lot of times you have to program them to match the car. Sometimes you can get away with putting a universal one in there, and sometimes you can't. I personally prefer to put OE ones in there because I know they're going to last just as long as the original equipment did. If I put most original equipment, tire pressure monitoring system, I want to say, according to Hansen, he says 5 to 7. I agree, somewhere in that area. I've seen them go 9 years. I've seen them only go 4 years. But somewhere in 5 to 7 years is about the average that a tire pressure monitoring system is going to last. So if you got a 2012, you're talking about a car that's 5, 6 years old right now. You may have a tire pressure monitoring system that needs to have the sensors changed. And you may say, well, dadgum, that's kind of expensive, isn't it? Yeah, it's not cheap. Because look at it this way. Tire pressure monitoring systems, all 4 of them will cost just about as much as 4 brand new tires installed on your vehicle programmed. They do. I've seen some cars are as much as $200 a wheel. Some Mercedes out there, they're not cheap. Some BMW, not cheap. And you have to program them, put them on the vehicle. We did a Chevrolet the other day. They're not cheap either. I think we did a Chevrolet 4-wheel drive anyway, it was a 4-wheel drive vehicle, Suburban, whatever. And I think it was around $700 to do 4 tire pressure monitoring system sensors. He had 3 out of 4 that were bad. He said, well, if I just changed 3, I said, I'll see you next month to change the 4th one. He said, just go ahead and change them all. I said, okay, because when you came in here 6 months ago, you only had 2 bad. Now you got 3 bad. So why don't change all 4 of them? So the other thing is, I'm trying to tell you, if you do have a tire pressure monitoring system and you do have one of your sensors bad, and the car is more than 4 years old, change them all. If not, you're going to be changing the next one. It's just going to be a continual battle. Save up your money. If you find out if you find out, your car's got it's 5, 6 years old, you got a tire pressure monitoring light on, you take it to a shop, they ping them with this machine or one equivalent to what I've got, like here, and they ping it and they go, yep, you got a sensor bad, and they go, okay, save your money up. So when you get ready to put new tires on there, you can buy new tires on there and 4 new sensors. If you don't do that, it's really you're not going to get the gas mileage you expect, because one, your tires are going to get low and you'll never know when they're low because the light's on all the time. Most people don't check their tires between oil changes. I bet you we don't have full service stations anymore. It used to be you came into a service station, they checked your oil, they checked your tire pressure, they washed your windows, checked your belts, checked your hoses, did all that stuff and closed the hood and sent you on your merry way. You don't see that anymore. Most people you have to pay 50 cents to get to fill up your air in your tires, and half the time those machines don't work, or they don't work high enough, or you're putting air in and they don't they only put about half the amount of pressure you really need. So the point I'm trying to say is, make sure your tire pressure monitoring system works. And it also adds to the resale of your value of the car. If you get ready to sell a car and the light's on, and people say, yellow light, caution, caution, we got a problem. It's just like having a check engine light on. If you see a check engine light on, it's a caution to you. You want to find out what that check engine light's on for. Same thing if you see a yellow light, any lights on your dash, whether it's an oil light, a brake light, a tire pressure monitoring light, a traction control light, any of these things, it makes you say, well, do I really want to buy this if it's got these lights on without getting them checked out? And a lot of times these conditions, the lights will come on and go off because that means they're working like they're supposed to. But if the light stays on the dash, you've got a problem. It needs to be looked at your earliest convenience, especially if the light is yellow. It doesn't mean you're going to die when you see a yellow light on, your car is going to explode. It means get it looked at your earliest convenience. And that's where we come in with the machines to make sure, why is your check engine light on? Why is your traction control light on? Why is your tire pressure monitoring system light on? Why is your oil light on? Why is your brake light on? Why is your anti-stability light, your stability control light on? Why is your traction control light on? These things, they mean things, and they're all safety items on vehicles. Traction control, tire pressure monitoring system, all these things work together. Your anti-lock brakes. All these work together with traction control and your tire pressure monitoring system. If they don't work correctly, I've seen some cars with the tire pressure monitoring system not working correctly and not the right size, an indirect system that uses the amount of air that's in the tire. Believe it or not, it can tell. If that light comes on, your anti-lock brakes aren't going to work. That's a safety item. So think about it. There's a lot riding on your tires. There's a lot riding in your car. Not only do you have it's an expensive car, your second most expensive investment besides your house, you've got your wife, you've got your kids, you've got your family in there. You're also responsible if you have an accident because of something you're negligent in, maybe a tire blew out or whatever, and you cause death and destruction to somebody else, you could be held responsible for that due to negligence. So that's why I caution people, please, You know, when the light comes on, don't put black tape on it. You'd be surprised how many times I see cars coming here with black tape over check engine lights, brake lights. Yeah, brake lights. I saw a car come in the other day, had a black tape over his ABS light and his brake light. I said, why'd you do that for? I got tired of looking at it. Well, you got a problem with your brakes. They stop fine. Yeah, he has no analog brakes. He has no traction control. He has none of these things that he paid for. And to fix it, all it was going to take was about a $100 sensor to fix it. You know, to make this car safer to drive, to make it more dependable in case of an accident. Remember, you cannot, you know, a lot of people, I just pump my brakes. You can't pump your brakes as fast as analog brakes can. They can do it 60 times per second. You can't do 6 pumps, you know, in 10 seconds. You know, I'm serious. That's how fast it does it. It'll cycle 60 times per second and release the pressure. Analog brakes will, they're that quick. So it's a safety item. Why you have analog brakes, why you have a tire pressure monitoring system, why you have these traction control lights. All these work together to keep you, the passenger, and the driver and your passengers safe. That's why you see lights coming on telling you your passenger doesn't have their seatbelt on or you don't have your seatbelt on. It's to keep you safe. Yeah, we could keep cars like they used to be. And you know, and people probably would, and there'd be more death than destruction out there. But they've got cars now with collapsible steering columns we've had for years. I remember when that first came out back in the '60s. That was a brand new idea, a collapsible steering column. So when you hit it, it would collapse. And then they came out with seat belts and airbags and all these things, and soft cushion and dashes that were not made out of metal, but made out of plastic and rubber coated. You know, I mean, or you know. Things like that which save people's lives. So cars have gotten safer, they've gotten more expensive, but it's up to you and using a little common sense that you can take care of these problems that arise before a big problem comes out. So if you see a light, don't wait to get it looked at. Find out what it is. Take it to a shop, have them diagnose it. Say, okay, you've got a light on because of this. What's it going to cost to fix it? Then, if you don't have the money, save your money up to get it fixed at your earliest convenience. It'll keep the resale of your value high. It'll keep your car safer for you to drive, and that's what's important. You want to make sure your car is safe for you and your family, and you want to make sure you're not dangerous to anybody else. If you got a car question, want to be a part of the show, pick up that phone dial, 850-763-0555. But you're going to have to do it tomorrow because today the show is over. So we'll talk to y'all tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. right here on WPGX Fox 28. Bye-bye, everybody.
James Auto Center, we fix it right, guaranteed. Beep, 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 yeah.